Hi guys, welcome to our team call this evening. Thanks for jumping on live and for listening to the recording if that's something you're doing later. We have a great guest speaker on our call tonight, and I am going to turn it over to Caitlin actually to let her do the introduction, and let's jump right into it. Caitlin?
All right. Well, as you guys saw on the slate that Jenna had posted this morning, Amy has a lot of stuff to offer us this evening. I just wanted to quickly introduce her before she started sharing some of her topics for the evening. Amy is a 2014 Premier Coach. She is currently a 5-star Diamond Elite Coach this year. She's currently ranked in the top 100 in the network, so that's amazing. Out of what are we at, 400,000 coaches. It's an amazing accomplishment. She is a Success Club 10 All-Star, a Success Club 5 Legend, and she is a doggy mom. And I'm excited for her to share about her marketing plan with us and how she has mastered social media in growing her business. So take it away, Amy.
Thank you. Cool. So I'm just going to, I've built all of my business on social media. I do have some people that obviously from my warm market that I've reached out to and they've reached out to me. But for the most part, I'd say like 90% of my business is all through meeting people on Instagram and Facebook. So I'm going to just share mostly what I do for the month in terms of like my posting and everything. So I made a slideshow. Let me see. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah? Okay. Present. Okay. So I'm going to break it down for like what I do each day to week and then month. So every day I invite, and I don't do really in-person inviting. Mine's all through social media, but I'll get into a little bit more on how I actually do invites. But yeah, so inviting every day, obviously Shakeology and working out, personal development. Every day I respond to my Facebook messages. I try not to let 24 hours go before I respond to someone who has messaged me. I also post and check in all of my Facebook groups, and I send people a message on their birthday. I was doing it on their wall, but I actually send it to them as just a message to them and say something like, just wanted to take a second to say happy birthday. Hope you have a good day. I hope you take time for yourself today, or something along those lines. And most of the time people respond back like, thank you or whatever. And then that opens up a conversation. Even if there's someone I haven't talked to that much, it could, rekindle a conversation that we were having previously. Interest groups. Do any of you guys use interest groups or know what they are? No? Yes? I'll talk more about those if you guys aren't sure what they are. Those are huge for me, but I'll get into that. And then I always check in with my challenge pack clients every day, whether it's just posting in the group. And I like to ask them how they want me to interact with them through Facebook, texting, how often and whatnot. And then I check in, my training groups, make sure I'm seeing what my coaches are doing and messaging them if they're getting behind. And then I message everyone who liked my photo from the prior day. If it has something to do with Shakeology, a challenge, coaching, something along those lines. So I'll, go back to the previous post. I'll hover over who liked it. And I always have 2 Facebook tabs open so I can go to my other Facebook tab, like a few of their things, and then message them and say like, thanks for liking my post about my next 21-day challenge. I would love to have you join. Like, is that something you've been thinking about or something along those lines? And then I always check, post on social media every day. I typically post 1 to 2 times a day, sometimes 3 on Facebook. And then I'll check my orders and my sponsorship drill down daily. Let's see. Oops. So weekly, I like to do follow-ups 2 times a week. So what I mean by that is I scroll to the bottom of my message inbox on Facebook and I work my way up on Sundays and Wednesdays, or like Monday, Wednesday, depending on how the schedule is going. But I try and do that on Sundays and Wednesdays. And I don't like to have messages sitting in there that if I'm not having like an ongoing conversation, or the conversation has died, or, they said that they're not interested until May, then I'm not going to just leave the message in there. I will copy their name into an Excel spreadsheet or put them into one of my interest groups, which I'll talk about. And then I just delete the conversation so that it's just people that I, should be contacting within that week. I also check in with my coaches at least once a week. A lot of my coaches will reach out to me when they need me and stuff, but if I've, noticed someone hasn't talked to me in a while, or I haven't seen them posting and stuff, I just go through my sponsorship drill down and I'll look through my coaches. I'll see if I can, notice anything on the sponsorship drill down, like maybe they sold a challenge pack, or, I see their volumes going up, or something along those lines, or they added a new coach or something. So I'll try and reach out in that sense, or just about checking their profile and seeing, or whatever, to see how they're doing if I haven't heard from them. And then obviously the national wake up call. And then we have our team calls on Wednesdays. And then I try every week to have a post about Shakeology, one of the workout programs, obviously positive things, transformation and coaching opportunity, and trying to configure those into my posts every week. And then here's my monthly attack plan. I like to hit Success Club 10 by the 15th and 20th by the end of the month. And of those challenge packs, I like to have at least 5 be new coaches, or if they're coaches that have, from challenge packs the previous month, and then they're enrolling as a coach. I like to host a coach sneak peek group every month. The first 2 weeks of the month, we do Coach Basics. So it's just a 10-day, Monday through Friday. And then we do a Path to Emerald and a Shooting to Diamond group. And then the third week, I like to do a Coach Sneak Peek group. And then the last week, I do some sort of free 5-day group. For me personally, the first week of the month, I'm really high on inviting and following up with people because I want to nail in Success Club as soon as possible. So I'm really going hard on the invites and follow-ups. And not to say I'm not working with my coaches, but they are my higher focus once I hit Success Club. And then that last week of the month, I go back into high on invites and follow-ups so that I can, get things together for the following month for Success Club. And I every month make a calendar and I post it in my coach group. Not to say that they have to do this or that I exactly follow it all the way, but I like to, give myself at least a plan for the month. So if I'm like, oh, I don't know what to post today, I kind of have an idea, and it gives my coaches ideas for them as well. And I ask them to share their calendar if they make one. I typically like to post about the coaching opportunity on Sundays or Mondays because, most people don't want to go back to work. I know that, one of my big motivations was to quit my job. So I attract a lot of people who want that as well. And I know on Sunday nights I had the Sunday scaries and didn't want to go to work on Monday. So that would be the best time for someone to have gotten me. So that's kind of how I like to do that. And then again, I have, these got switched, but I run a free group and a sneak peek. And then I always do a transformation Tuesday. I have been posting the hammer and chisel transformation. I didn't today, but I have been posting them since, and I've been using photos from people in the test group. And that's been really helping me every time. Again, I go through and see who likes it, and then I reach out to them. So I have a list of like 20 people already that are interested. Doesn't mean they're all going to buy it, obviously, but interested in hammer and chisel. So come December 1st, or end of November, those are the people I'm going to be reconnecting with and getting them, set up to order, get it and get in our challenge and everything. And some of them actually I was able to lock in for a 21-day fix challenge because, since hammer and chisel is not coming out till December, I was like, in the meantime, do you want to do something to jumpstart, your nutrition and stuff before the holidays? So I was able to lock in a few people earlier, but I do have a running list. And yeah, just kind of basic stuff on here. see. I post a lot about the coaching opportunity. So, sharing events and again, messaging everyone who likes it and stuff, but sharing the income opportunity and everything. So I know that was like a huge motivation for me. So I like to share that a lot. So that's one. Emotional. So I was very skeptical of the coaching opportunity. So, I know a lot of people also feel that way. So I really put that out there that, I thought it was a scam. I was skeptical, never in a million years would I have guessed I would be, doing this and everything. So I get a lot of people who will message me, I related to your post because I feel skeptical about this and everything. So that helps me. Financial again. So, I share what I was making before and how this has changed, my life and everything like that. So, I'm just showing some of the posts that did well for me. Another financial, obviously I do the financial ones a lot. And not to say like if you're not making a lot with Beachbody yet, I shared a lot. And when I would talk one-on-one with people, my brother has been doing this for a lot longer than I have, and he makes an insane amount. So I would share that with people when I didn't have my own, initial goals and stuff. But also like this one doesn't really have to do necessarily like, it does have to do with Beachbody earnings, but I just said, I saved more in general than I thought I would have before becoming a coach. And I have a lot of, my newer coaches who will just share things like, we were able to go on a date night tonight and we didn't have to, use our regular money. We were able to use our Beachbody money or paid for groceries this week and stuff. So you could just share the little things. Yeah. And I personally don't have a huge physical transformation since becoming a coach. So mine's all like financial, emotional, that type of stuff. So I really, shared that too. So, I have some coaches that they don't have a huge transformation as well. I don't know if that's just because I attract that, but we really work on finding ways that we transform other than just transformation. Not to say that I'm not still working on my transformation. And then sharing Shakeology and, the workouts and stuff in a classier manner and not just like, here's my Shakeology for the day, and making them look good, not like a shaker cup that's half empty with like crusting shake on the side, and sharing, I do mention Shakeology in it, but I, mentioning different ingredients in it and then a recipe that goes along with it. Meal plan. So I love the 21-day fixed meal plan. I post a lot about their meal plan. This post got a lot of attraction. I don't know if it was just because it was like a full day's worth of meals, but this was a great post for me to reach out to people and, hey, thanks for, liking this post about the meal plan and everything along those lines. And what was cool about this post is the next day, actually, after I posted this, I posted about my free clean eating group. I did like a 5-day clean eating group, which I based around the 21-day fix. And then after that 5-day clean eating group, that's a good transition into talking about a 21-day fix challenge group. So the next day I was like, if you liked my meal plan that I posted yesterday, I'm running a 5-day clean eating group. I'll share more detail about some of like the recipes I cook that are healthy and whatnot. Oops, let me see, how do I get back in there? Oh no. View. How do I get back? Let me see. Oh, there. Same with like the workouts and stuff, just I try and squeeze in as much as I can in a small post. So talking about the meal plan along with, getting the workout done and then mentioning that I have a group for support. And that's like the biggest point. And sealing the deal. So as soon as someone says they're ready to order, and this, I didn't come up with this. I can't remember who I got it from. I think it was Danielle Katz or whatever. I don't know what her name, Natoni. So I got that from her a while ago, but I'm glad you're ready to get started. Okay, only question, do you want to get started as a customer or a coach? The cost is the same. The only difference is that your shake will be discounted month 2 if you get started as a coach. And if you are interested, I can show you how you can get your shakes for free. So that's kind of how I lead in with the coaching opportunity when they're getting a challenge pack, to see if I can get them to, become a coach right away with a challenge pack. And then for those that I'm talking to about coaching that aren't, necessarily looking for a challenge, they've commented or were attracted to one of my like financial posts or something. This is kind of how I tell them, explain the cost and everything. I try to keep it like simple. And then I love setting up Zoom calls with people to discuss more if they want to. I do group messages with my coaches to share their experience. And then again, I have the sneak peeks once a month. So I usually can get a few people in there. And I talk about like the income opportunity and the cost and the time commitment and all of that. But this post works pretty well for me for talking about like what it costs to start up and everything. And then interest groups. So I'm going to show you, let's see. Oops. Caitlin, do you guys know what interest groups are? I didn't hear if anyone knew what it was.
I know I've like my team, I've shared with them, and I know we've talked about it on previous calls. Does anybody want to chime in if they're not familiar with interest groups or if they've used them in working the business?
Amy, why don't you just share how you use them? That would be awesome.
Cool. So on your sidebar, if you just scroll down to the section that says interests. So what an interest group is it's a mini news feed that will only show you people that you want to see in the news feed. So I have an interest group that is just for my personally sponsored coaches, one that's for my downline, that's Emerald and above. And then I have an interest group for like prospects for that month. So you can just go to this interest thing and then you can hit add an interest and then create a list. And this is I just found this on YouTube. I think there's like a video for it. But if you just hit on friends, you can start adding in, even if you just start with one person. So if I started with one person and then I could just name it like November prospects or something. And you definitely want to make it only you can see it, not for the public. But then you would just hit done. I'm not going to create it, but you would hit done. And then I rearrange it so that it's at the top within my groups. So if you like hover over your groups, you can just hit add to favorites so that it's at the top. But I check these every day. I like them because it helps me just connect with people every day. And then if I like say someone, shared a photo that they got engaged, then I can start a conversation with them or, whatever. So I do that. Or that it's just, if the next time I contact them, it's not necessarily just about Beachbody. I'm contacting them based on things they're posting. Or if I do contact them about something that's Beachbody, it's not like I have been interacting on their page and stuff. Okay. Where did my slide go? Okay. And then, I don't know if that was my last slide. Oh, and then I'm someone who needs to write everything down. So every night before I go to bed, I write down my tasks for the next day. So I write down exactly like when I'm going to work on my business, when am I going to do my workout, and then I'm just realistic on what I can do that day and the most important things first. I don't know if you guys have read the book Eat That Frog, but I try and do the things that I don't like to do first. But yeah, that's kind of it. If you guys have questions.
Wow, that was awesome, Amy. Thank you.
That was a lot of information.
No, it was great. I want to open it up for questions, but I also wanted to see, is there any way you can either send me or Jenna the slides?
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
A lot of valuable information.
Definitely. I can do that.
Awesome.
Amy, I have a question. Sorry.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you also, are you on Instagram a lot?
I am. Yeah, I guess I didn't really talk about that. So are you guys familiar with Chalene Johnson's 531 invite process? I do that. So it's just like searching hashtags, comment or liking 5 photos of someone's and then commenting on 3. And I just say like, not necessarily generic, but pertaining to them, but nothing like too long. And then I just check my new followers every day on Instagram, and I'll comment on their recent photo and say like, thanks so much for liking, or thanks so much for following me on Instagram. It's kind of hard to chat here, but if you're interested in talking more, I'd love to connect on Facebook. The link to my Facebook is in my bio. So I'll usually say something like that. And that's definitely something great that you can outsource. If you guys are familiar with like Upwork and stuff, you can get people for like $4 an hour who will do that type of stuff for you. So I did that for Instagram, and I run Instagrass. I don't know if you guys use that, just for likes, I don't have comments on it.
And then do you post whatever you post on Facebook as the same posts that go onto Instagram?
For the most part, not all the time, but for the most part, it is similar. And for some reason, I guess like Facebook algorithms or something, if you just share it from Instagram to Facebook, it doesn't get shown in as many people's news feed. So if I post it on both social platforms, then I like actually post it on Facebook and on Instagram separately.
That makes sense. Can I ask one more question? I just haven't had much luck with Instagram. I feel like I started and I post my sweaty selfie in Shakeology, but I feel every response or comment I got was, let me help you market and get 5,000 new likes. Or like it wasn't, I didn't feel like I was connecting to real people. It was just I felt really scammy. Do you get that a lot?
So I don't do as much on Instagram as I used to. I have built my Instagram up. I think I have like 13,000 followers now, just because I did do so much of the 531 inviting for a long time. But a lot of my older coaches are from Instagram, but more of my challenge packs and new coaches are through Facebook. So I just go to like the mutual or the people I can show you what I mean. Let me see. Can you guys see my screen? So I go to the little Facebook people here, and I hit this see all button. And it's actually a really cool feature, but I go through and I add at least like 10 new people a day. And I only will add people that I have mutual friends with, but not if they are Beachbody coaches that I know of. So I'll just hover over and make sure they're not Beachbody coaches, and then I'll just add them. So I'll just go through, and then if you like don't want someone to keep showing up, you can just hit remove, and then you can refresh it. So that usually pops up, and then you can also search specific things like where you're from or a different city, your current city, other cities, through colleges, companies. So I definitely am using this more. Sorry, I meant to say this before, but yeah, so I'm using this more for inviting now. And then I will go to my Facebook and I'll hit on my friends. And then there's the button that says recently added. So I can just hover over. So let me see if someone I did recently. Oh, I haven't done her. Where is someone? Okay, so for instance, this person, like I would hover over and say like, hey, thanks so much for accepting my friend request. I kept seeing you pop up as a suggested friend, so I figured I would say hi. I see you work at Soul Cycle. I love it there. How long have you been an instructor? So that's how I've been like inviting out. I mean, it's not really like join my challenge, but it's just a new connection. And I might not even necessarily like invite her to a challenge, but I'm just starting a conversation with her. She might ask me what I do. And so a few of my more recent coaches actually, like someone worked at it. I would search different studios I live in Boston, but I would search studios in Boston, and I would start adding people that worked at like fitness studios or, and then I just started like accumulating people. So connected with this one girl, and she worked at a fitness studio. And I was like, oh, like I should come check out one of your classes. So I went to one of her classes, and I never said anything about like Beachbody to her. We just kind of like became friends. And she texted me and was like, I need to do the 21-day fix. And now she's one of my coaches. So that was like just through Facebook. But you can target it for local, I guess. So.
Awesome. Anybody else, guys? No, those were great questions.
I have a quick question. Have you ever gotten like a negative response from sending like a friend request, or someone like asking you, why are you sending me a friend request?
I haven't really, because all the time I have like mutual friends with them. And I personally, I've just added so many people in the Boston area that are like in the fitness world. So I have so many in common friends that no one's ever been like, why are you friending me? Because for the most part, we usually have at least a few. Sometimes people don't respond, like that girl hasn't responded yet and she saw it. And then I just don't like bug them any further. I'll just X out of the conversation, but now we're friends. So she can still see what I'm posting. I'll pop up in her news feed. So that doesn't mean that like she'll never be interested.
Right.
But I'm not going to just sit there and be like, hey, why aren't you responding?
Right.
But yeah.
Cool. Anybody else? Awesome. All right. Well, Amy, thank you so much for jumping on. I loved all the information. And I guess if you just want to shoot me a message or Jenna, whatever's easier for you, and we can get those slides uploaded.
Cool.
Healthy4Lyfe page.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on the call.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Guys. Have a good rest of your evening.
Yeah.